All right, top of the morning, top of the evening, top of the night, whatever time zone you are on. We are live. Hello, everybody. Hopefully everybody's been doing the best that they can in the situation that they are in. A moment of silence for all those who have lost their lives. With that being said, we're going to get started. Let's remember this. If we can look up, we can get up. If we can get up, we can go up. Let's get to the music and let's get off into this. We got some work to do. And like we did in J4K, when we got thousands, hundreds of thousands of signatures on her behalf, we're going to do the same thing for Christina. Now, with that being said, we're going to go to work, and we know we work and move a different way. And we believe in being relentless. Let's get off into this music and let's get it started. Yeah, let's get it started. So let's go, everybody. Copyright disclaimer: in accordance with the Copyright Act of the United States of America, sections 106, 106A, 107, and the others, fair use. I have a right to use the video footage that I am showing, images, pictures, artwork, research, news articles, and the like. This information is now a matter of public records according to the United States of America's Freedom of Information Act and Copyright Act. So let's go, everybody. Let's get started on that, but let's get off into this. We don't give up the fight. We get up and we stand up for our rights. Nothing happens automatically. What do we want? A form of justice. When do we want it? Now. Now, as it pertains to this Christina case, being found in a van, a police van, in a police department parking lot, we say no. What the video footage you showed us is not admissible in the court of law. Timestamps can't be 12 hours off. And this is why the police was in the chat years ago. Some police officers, when it came to the Kenneka Jenkins case, and was making comments and watching. You dealing with somebody on a total different level. Over here, you deal with people on a whole nother level. So let's get off into this. Okay, and let's get off into this. Let me go ahead and get my slides. And to all the people who say she loved her PowerPoint presentation format, yes, I do. I've been doing it for years. And this is the way it's going to be, because over here, we need to get to the information. We don't have time to play games. We don't have time for people to not be informed over here. This is an extremely informative channel, as well as an educational channel. But this channel is not for children, simply because of the videos that are shown from others, where it might be profanity or it might be extremely graphic. But these are real life events that occurred. So having said that, let's get off into this. We ready? To all the supporters over here, are we ready to go back to work? Yeah, we never stop working, but are we ready to get back actively engaged? If you've been a little sleep, it's time to wake up. Now it's time to wake the sleeping giant up. Okay, no nonsense news and the lion's den all in one. We stay actively engaged. Let's move. Graphic content. Another disclaimer. Graphic content, parental consent is necessary. Viewers' discretion is advised. Parental consent, viewers' discretion is advised. Can we flash back really quick to Kenneka Jenkins? And if Mother T is watching this, if Mama T is watching this, how you doing? We just got to walk it back a little bit. And you know we gonna always hold it down. And anytime we need to pull up in Illinois, we will do that and hold it down. Let's go. Let's flash back and walk this up and make this make sense.
I want to see her literally actually walking into this freezer.
Kenneka Jenkins' mother wants to see it to believe it, but now we know that will not happen. According to the Crown Plaza Hotel in Rosemont, there is no video of Kenneka Jenkins walking into a freezer. We do see Kenneka walking in this lower level kitchen in the hotel. She stumbles, turns the corner, and then she goes out of frame. But then she's captured here by another camera stumbling in the kitchen.
No one from Crown Plaza Hotel responds to her.
Video time codes appear to show Kenneka roaming the hotel for more than an hour. First, Kenneka is walking with friends. There's a time gap, and then she's later seen by herself. At one point, she stumbles out of an elevator. Later, she repeatedly hits the wall walking down a hallway.
We will get to the bottom of it. We will only go to where the facts lead us.
Last week, attorneys for Kenneka's family said they would be conducting their own independent investigation. Today, attorney Larry Rogers Jr. toured the hotel for about an hour. A hotel spokesperson says Rogers took pictures inside, asked questions, and walked in all of the areas that video shows Kenneka walking.
Now, we know how that story went. Rosemont came out, the police department came out and said she walked in the freezer. But I'm going to play it back one more time for the ones who didn't get it. There was absolutely, positively no video footage of her walking into the freezer. But they came out and said she walked into the freezer without presenting any forensics. No fingerprints, no footprint impressions on the inside of the freezer, anything like that, just nothing, just a bunch of forensics missing. Then I started going through video footage. And I'm always do my disclaimer because I said, excuse me, I was not here to personally collect, preserve, retrieve, store this electronically stored information or this evidence. Okay. I said that from the onset. I just went off of what was posted on Rosemont website that was supposed to be authentic or should have been authenticated. But then what did we see? We saw the hotel what? Turning over information to the police department versus the police department acquiring warrants to go in and retrieve, collect the entire electronically stored units. And when I say electronically stored units, I'm talking about the cameras, right? I'm talking about every electronic that captured. I'm talking about the network. I'm talking about all of the equipment, all of the cameras. Every camera that should have captured her. And how the data was being backed up on site. You go in and you get the entire IP surveillance unit. Let me play it back again. You get a warrant to acquire the entire unit. But before you acquire the unit, you need to make sure it has not been powered down. Why? Because you get a different set of algorithms when you power down any type of operating system or any electronics. Then guess what appears? A different set of algorithms. No, we need information in its volatile state. Okay. We still waiting for them information. We still waiting for their data policy. We looked at what was given and then we looked at what wasn't given. Let me play it back because we are going somewhere tonight, per usual. But I need all my giants to wake up. It's time to go to work.
I want to see her literally actually walking into this freezer.
Kenneka Jenkins' mother wants to see it to believe it, but now we know that will not happen. According to the Crown Plaza Hotel in Rosemont, there is no video of Kenneka Jenkins walking into a freezer. We do see Kenneka walking in this lower level kitchen in the hotel. She stumbles, turns the corner, and then she goes out of frame. But then she's captured here by another camera stumbling in the kitchen.
No one from Crown Plaza Hotel responds to her.
Video time codes appear to show Kenneka roaming the hotel for more than an hour. First, Kenneka is walking with friends. There's a time gap, and then she's later seen by herself. At one point, she stumbles out of an elevator. Later, she repeatedly hits the wall walking down a hallway.
We will get to the bottom of it. We will only go to where the facts lead us.
Last week, attorneys for Kenneka's family said they would be conducting their own independent investigation. Today, attorney Larry Rogers Jr. toured the hotel for about an hour. A hotel spokesperson says Rogers took pictures inside, asked questions, and walked in all of the areas that video shows Kenneka walking.
I'll say it again. If I could not thank Larry Rogers for anything else, because it was mixed feelings about that, I did thank him for going in and getting some evidence. Remember, Jeffrey Feiger has this case. And what did Jeffrey Feiger come out and say? The cameras on the ninth floor where the party allegedly happened were operable. Where's the video footage for that? Then the Crown Plaza came out and said, oh, it was in the report, in the police reports. Remember, the police had to go back and say, where's the rest of the video footage? Where's the rest of the video footage? Remember that detective had to go back and get the rest of the video footage on thumb drives? This is why authentication is vital. This is why you do it right the first time. This is why I call this a conflict of interest. Alabama Police Department should not be investigating Christina's case. She was found in a van, a police van, in their parking lot. Then a police officer came out and showed video, the sheriff, Dwayne, came out and showed video footage and gave an admission that the timestamps was 12 hours off. That's not admissible in a court of law. Timestamps have to be accurate when you're showing video footage in the court of law. That deals with authentication and admissibility. Now, let me go here.
I want to see her. I want to see her literally.
Okay. Timestamps 12 hours off. And I have write block drives up here. The reason I have write block is because anytime you're going in to correctly retrieve information, electronically stored information / data, you have to write block the system. So it's in a write mode only. Excuse me, write block the system, strike that. So it's in the read mode only. That's what write blocking deals with. We don't want to be able to write to any digital evidence. We just want to be able to read and collect it. So let me say that again. We just want to be able to read only. It needs to be in read mode only, not write mode, because if it's in a write mode, that's tampering with evidence. So let me backtrack that and slow myself down. Hold on, let me slow that down. Let me slow it all the way down. Yeah, it is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. So let's go here. But I'll let you hear the sheriff himself tell you the timestamps were 12 hours off. I'm gonna let him tell that to you. And then in all our understanding, we're gonna get an understanding today. What? Digital forensics, network forensics, computer forensics, assurance and security. All of this deals with the law. You see, I got my rules down here today, right? because we need to know the rules, we need to know the law. Okay, and when I went to court and represented myself, the reason I could do so is because once I had attorneys behind me, and his attorney's office was pushing on my paperwork, so I didn't have to be concerned with that. I was writing up my own motions, but he was given a draft on how to do that, looking at my own cases. But this is why I was able to represent myself in court, because it came down to electronically stored information. And that mess that the opposing counsel tried years ago did not work for me, because this is what I have a degree in. I have to know the laws as it pertains to admissibility of electronically stored information. Not only that, I have to know what is admissible in the court of law when it comes to electronically stored information. I have to know the laws. And the person they brought in had no firsthand knowledge. He didn't even work for the company he was sitting up there talking about. So I got his behind up off the stand. All I had was one witness. And yes, I did cross-examine the witness. And I said, who do you work for? Do you know how the systems were being maintained? Do you know how the information was? Did you even create the systems for the company that you're attempting to represent, that you don't work for? So you have no firsthand knowledge. That means you're not a good witness. You're not credible. You're going off hearsay. And what are you here for again? So the trial attorney looked quite baffled when the judge told her, y'all don't have no evidence. That's right. And y'all don't have no witness. That's right. This right here is vital that we as people understand this. So should you have to go to court, you can put your attorney, if they don't know the depth of this, because all attorneys don't know, up on game. And this is not a game, but you can put them up on knowledge. We know what we're saying when we mean game. Listen, when using a security camera system to catch criminals, and they put criminals right there, but we're not just going to say to catch criminals, to catch or capture information via networks. It is important to make sure that the correct time is set. If the time settings are not correct, any recorded footage will have a timestamp that is incorrect and may be inadmissible in the court of law. Okay, timestamps need to be correct, because if you come up in there, the first thing I want to know is authentication. Is the data authentic? Watermarks, okay? Watermarks show up on authentic video footage. Timestamps should be retrievable when there's video footage. Don't come out here with timestamps 12 hours off saying, we're showing raw data. You didn't even show us a chain of custody. The police, the sheriff didn't show no chain of custody. Did he show you a chain of custody in that report that he came out and gave, that press conference, at the press conference? No, he did not. Now, if you ever have to go to court and it's pertaining to electronically stored information, you better make sure that data that they're attempting to admit in court has been authenticated. Make sure that electronically stored information has been authenticated. Now, duty to preserve, Rule 26.1. Police department has a duty to preserve all electronically stored information. But we're going to listen tonight, and we're going to go a little deeper. Let's go. All right. Time steps again. Remember, right block. We want to right block. When we're dealing with electronics and software, collecting electronically stored information / that will be used as evidence. The way it is retrieved, maintained, and handled, all of that matters. Okay, because information is vital. Not only vital, it's extremely fragile. Electronically stored information is fragile. You have on jury, that can alter stuff. You know, it's different ways that electronically stored information can be impacted. And I think people need to keep that in mind and remember that. So when it comes to these timestamps, network time protocol, remember, the surveillance cameras represents a node on a network. A node is a peripheral device, okay? The camera is a peripheral device over a network, a node on a network. All those cameras represent nodes on a network, a local area network, okay? Network time protocol. Because it's an interconnection of networks. Network time protocol sets the time while the video is being captured. That needs to be synchronized. Don't come out here talking about timestamps being 12 hours off. I'm gonna ask you and tell you not admissible, no authentication, and challenge you on authentication. Now let's go. Let's go. Before we go there, let's go back to Gabby Polito, and the reason Petito, and I'm butchering her last name right now. Apologies. But I want to go to this timestamp because I want the same autopsy that was conducted on her and the same resources that was put behind Gabby to be placed behind Christina. We wanted this for Kenneka. We did not get it. We want this for Christina. We do not want the Alabama Police Department to be investigating a single thing. Okay, so my timestamp on this is 8:47. I will leave the entire video below when I edit this video later. I'm going to leave the entire, and I started to put it to pre-fill my information before I went live like I used to do, so people can go through and do different things like that. But when it comes to these petitions, I'll go back to pre-filling. But right now, I just want you to hear the type of autopsy that was conducted for her. And again, timestamp is around 8:47.
I cast some aspersions because they're so far out and isolated.
Let me move this up some. I guess we'll start right above.
X-ray, if they have access to an X-ray machine, he did a CAT scan.
Why is that so unusual?
Oh, it's because it's high-end equipment. Not everybody has this. And
let me back it up some, just a little.
Isolated.
Okay.
This man sat there and said, we did a CAT scan, and not just a CAT scan, we did a full body CAT scan. Most coroner's offices might do an X-ray if they have access to an X-ray machine. He did a CAT scan.
Why is that so unusual?
Oh, it's because it's high-end equipment. Not everybody has this. And what's even more key here is the fact that he stated, when asked, did her body ever leave the facility? It didn't. That means one of two things. Either they brought in a portable CAT scan, which is pretty significant, or do they have one, in-house there? But, the bigger point here is that with X-ray, you take a case now that's being documented in a two-dimensional perspective. Think about anytime you've ever seen a personal X-ray. Folks at home can identify with this. You'll look at it and say, what is this? I can't make heads or tails out of it. Now you go CAT scan, you're talking three-dimensional. Mm-hmm. Now you can appreciate height and depth and thickness and all those sorts of things. And this is a powerful tool at trial. One of the biggest things that happens with autopsy photography, for instance, is that the defense will say, this is too graphic. It's prejudicial. We can't show this to the jury. There's nothing prejudicial about CT scans. It's not gory. But you can appreciate, say, for instance, before you ever do the autopsy, the body's completely intact. You can appreciate the status of the hyoid bone in relation to any hemorrhage that might be there. You're not disrupting the body at all, but it's demonstrative. Mm-hmm. And that's very, very powerful. So they went to great lengths. He's also submitted trace evidence, according to what he said, There's an entomologist involved, which is a bug doctor. More than likely, I'm suspecting a forensic entomologist. More than likely, if the feds are involved, the FBI, this has gone to the Smithsonian. They deal with the
Time of
entomologist
death.
here. There's also a forensic anthropologist who deals with skeletons. So it's a real full press
Establishing
that
the
they're
time
putting
of
on.
death.
And
If you see
at the
chain of
end of the
custody in
day,
the
I can
background.
tell you they are going to have a boatload of evidence that will be tied up in a very neat package.
Well, let's talk about this evidence, right? They said they retrieved DNA evidence,
Yeah.
but it's going to be tricky, right, to use this in court because Brian and Gabby had been in
No,
a
it's not.
relationship.
Right. And we don't really know what the status of the DNA evidence is, because you can't just look at the body with the unaided eyes, we say, and say, okay, there's DNA evidence, I'm going to collect it. They could have taken a sample from her, submit that as DNA to the point of exclusion. Here's what's key, though. You remember what I said about manual strangulation? It's a very personal event. I mean, it is the most intimate of homicides that can occur. It's a primal response to fight somebody off
Fingernail.
if you're being choked or being strangled.
Okay.
My thought is this. They have done nail scrapings and probably nail clippings. And if folks will essentially look down the long axis,
Just give me one. Switch. I'm getting ready to switch electronic devices. I have my daughter sitting up in the background. Give me 5 minutes and I'll be back live. That team. Yes. Five minutes. I'll be back in 5. I'll be back in 5 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bye, everybody.